Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar, one of many in the series. We're just going to go over today about why now? Why now is the time to move over to Qlik SaaS? I'm joined with Noel. Say hi, Noel.
Hello, everyone.
Who's here to join us and demonstrate the great features of the Qlik SaaS platform. So before we do that, it's probably just worth us first off introducing ourselves. So very briefly. So myself, Lee Connor, Technical Director of Catalyst. No?
Yeah, hi everyone. Noel Watson, Principal Pre-Sales Consultant at Catalyst.
And just in case we don't know what we look like, we've got some pictures in there. And we've got our LinkedIn right at the end of the presentation as well. So cameras at the ready. So okay, so today's agenda. We're going to go through a few bits and bobs, all bundled up into a nice demo presentation, but we're looking at reporting, notes, AutoML, automation with a bit of AI and alerting. And then finally, we'll finish the session off by just talking about the new capacity licensing and the benefits of that. So stay tuned. Okay. So first off, just who Catalyst are, just in case anyone's on the call who's not familiar with Catalyst BI. So that's our strapline. We like to be challenged. We like to unlock insights, drive performance, and just a little bit about what we provide and the vendors we use. So we provide this in multi-different stages. Today we're talking about data analytics, but we also provide integration as well as warehousing and data management. And then once we analyze that, then you probably want to look at the science of that. Now that you've got good quality sat in a data warehouse and got good dashboards looking at the insights of that, we've got data science, and then we look at different vendors on that. Okay, so first off, Qlik. So Qlik SaaS and its end-to-end offering. So as we've already said, we're going to be talking about the analytics and AI and ML and how you action and take outcomes of your data. But Qlik SaaS is a bigger platform. It allows you to move, transform, trust your data. So what does that mean? It means move it. It means storing it somewhere. So putting it into a target, which is that big blue box in the middle. So that could be a warehouse. It could be even just directly into the Qlik platform itself using QVDs. Make sure that the data is governed. Make sure that the data is transformed correctly and it's of good quality, and you've got a trust score on that data as well. But today, what we're mainly focusing in, is the analytics AI elements of that. So let's get into it. Noel, what we'll be seeing today in the demo?
Yeah, thanks, Lee. So in this demonstration today, we're going to show how the HR team at our company can use all the extended capabilities at Qlik to identify issues with staff churn. So we're going to try and understand the root causes around staff churn and use those understandings to then make predictions over our current workforce and hopefully prevent people that are currently working from us from leaving. So we're going to do that using all the features that you can see listed on the screen, highlighting how the Qlik Cloud platform is more than just analytics, but can drive proactive action and sit at the heart of your business process. So back to you, Lee.
Great, let's get on with it then. Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look at this and we'll start the demo today. So as we've just described, the scenario I'm currently doing is I'm a HR director. I get a scheduled report that fires out every month into my inbox. So I don't have to go looking for it. It's pushed directly into my inbox. And in this instance, it's an Excel sheet. So let me just open that Excel sheet. It could be a PDF as well, and I can schedule that as a PDF. What this is doing is it's giving me the highlights that I just need to know to do my job. So the first thing I'm looking at here is that last month my numbers were green. This month, my numbers are red, so I can see that I've got a current turnover of 5.3%, and I've got a turnover of 51 for this quarter. So that's quite a lot. So that's why they've gone red. And I can have supporting information further down here, and you can see the trend from the chart coming up here to be 51. So in fact, it's even got a different color. So as a HR director, I'm wanting to investigate this further. I want to know what's going on. So not only have I got this chart, I've got some employee details if I want to really drill into that, where all of the low level detailers there. But I don't really want to look at that at this moment in time. I just want to go into the Qlik application and do my next level of investigation. So all I need to do is hit the link in there, and then it'll open up a browser and take me directly into Qlik Sense SaaS. Once I'm in Qlik Sense SaaS, I can do all the usual wonderful things in Qlik, such as dragging and filtering, etc. I can see that the charts come in here, and it's exactly the same chart that was in my Excel sheet there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter over the last 3 quarters and see whether there's anything that is trending. So I can filter that, and I can now see that my chart on the right hand side here, my geographical spread is highlighted in the main areas. So if I just hover over that, I can see that Wiltshire, we've lost 5 individuals, and whereas that North Yorkshire, I've lost 8. So now, as far as the HR's director is concerned, that's good to know, but really I need to now fire off or pass this over to my manager, my HR manager, who will do the next level of investigation. So let me do that now. I don't need to leave too. I can do that just on a conversation. I can either do that on a chart, I can do this on any of the charts, but what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to right click on that and create a note. And I want to take the context of my conversation. So I'll give it with that snapshot, a snapshot being the image of that chart. What that does now is it brings essentially the chart through. So I've got the chart already embedded, but I want to be able to have a conversation with my HR manager called Noel. So what I can do is I can add Noel just like I can in Teams, if I can spell his name correctly. So what I'll do now is I'll add Noel, who's my HR manager, and I can start a conversation up with him. So I can say, Noel, can you look at why we have 51 leavers this quarter? Please investigate, or something of that ilk. And what that will do now is I don't need to hit save or anything within the web. I can just click off on that, knowing that that message has now gone to Noel for him to act on that.
Thanks for that, Lee. That's really interesting. That report looks quite nice. That must have taken quite a lot of work to generate.
Yeah, you'd think, Noel. The beauty of using Qlik and Qlik Sense SaaS is that it's not really. So if I just go back to the report, I can just show you now live. What I've got is I've got a template. This could be anything I want. I can have as many sheets as I want. In fact, I downloaded this template and I cheated. I used a dashboards template website in order to get this template because I didn't want to create it myself. And then I just dragged the objects in. You can see each one of these objects. The way I dragged those in was even simpler. In 365 in an office, I get this add-in, and you can see it's connected to our demo stack add-in. If I click on that, what you can see, it's going to log me directly into Qlik, and then what I can then do is choose my dev for this space. I can choose my app, so I can use this retention analysis app here. What I can then do, it will give us access to all of the charts that are available to me. It's still deploy section access and such like, so it'll only give me access to the data that I need, and I can add charts, I can add tables on here, so it'll even show me the sheets, and if I pop on this one down, it'll show me the preview. So I don't even need to know what this chart is, so maybe I just wanted to add this one here. I just hit the plus button. What that then does is adds the chart directly on. I can then drag and drop it around, hit save, redeploy that template into Qlik Sense SaaS, and then my template is then changed.
Thank you.
So over to you, Noel, who's now my HR manager. Where does that note go? How have you got access to that, and where can you see it?
Okay, thanks, Lee. Yeah, so in this next section, I'm going to play the role of the HR manager. So I've just received an email into my inbox from Lee, who's my HR director. I don't know what it's about yet. I can just see that he's been looking in the employee retention app, and actually that's about data confidentiality as well. We don't want your private information out there via email, so it just sends a note to say that the note exists, and I can click through now to have a look at that conversation. It takes me into the hub where I can view the note directly. So I can view all my assets as well directly in the hub. But it's showing me the note here, and I can see this note. I've been added in here, and I can see from the chart straight away that Lee's interested in the significant spike in turnover that we've had in the last quarter, and it's a trend that's been growing over the last 3 quarters, and he's asking me to look into that. So I'll just send him a response now, just to say I'm on it. And then
Polite of you. No, thank you.
and then we'll go and have a look to see actually what has been happening in the data there. So I'll just drill straight through into the application now. And it's identical to what Lee saw there. Is we have that growing trend, that spike over the last couple of quarters. We can see different geographical locations, etc. And this is something that I've been looking at for a few weeks. Actually, I became aware of it some time ago, so I actually started to pull some data together about employees and their satisfaction rating, salary, etc. And I used that to create an AutoML experiment where I can make predictions over my future turnover of staff and work out which features are more likely to cause staff to want to leave, and then be able to make predictions and basically take action to be able to prevent that. And now that AutoML model has been generated, I can use that information that it has generated to make predictions against my current staff. So basically looking at each one of my active staff members to see what is the chance that these people are likely to leave. And you can see here we've actually been able to put a percentage against each of the employees and be able to categorize them as either retain or flight risk. So I've already been looking at some of the departments already, and I've noticed that we do have a turnover in technology which is quite high, and they can be, with those skill sets, they can be quite difficult to replace as well. So I'm just going to focus on this one initially. And actually I can see within the IT team, I've got a business intelligence team that not only have a high flight risk, but actually they're highly rated as well. So I certainly don't want that team to be leaving. So let's have a look at these guys as well. So I can now see down at individual employee level that it seems that most of this team is quite well settled. They're reasonably content where they are, but we do have some outliers over on the right-hand side of the chart here that look to have a much higher flight risk. And so I want to drill into those and try and understand why that might be the case. So just making a selection there, I can now see down in my prediction drivers that we've got a couple of bars that are longer than the others, and specifically the days since vacation seems to be a significant factor here. So whether that's that they're not able to, so busy with project work that they're not able to find a gap in the schedule to request leave, or even worse, it might be that they have requested leave, but that request has been denied. But either way, it's the sort of thing that you can certainly see why after 200 days somebody might want to start looking for another job. But it's it's an easy one to solve as well, isn't it? So basically, what I want to do is get their line manager looking at this information and talking to those people and see if we can get that holiday schedule. So I could do that in the same way that my HR director contacted me through the collaborative notes and speak directly to the line manager. But as a HR manager, I might be looking at multiple teams with multiple different line managers. So I can actually use an automation like I've got here. So if I click the automation, that will cycle through each of the line managers within this set of data and send out a message to them directly in Teams, custom specific information to each recipient saying that I want them to have a look at this data and action it. Okay.
So no, that looks pretty cool actually. In order to get those predictions on a employee by employee basis, using that ML, that machine learning, that feels like it's maybe a little complicated to do, is it? How hard is that?
Yeah, thanks, Lee. It's actually not that difficult at all. So let me just do a quick show and tell on that. So looking in the hub here, you can see we've got the create page where I can start to build out any of my new analytics or AutoML. So here I'm just going to create a staff churn experiment here. And it literally just takes a few minutes. Obviously, I've got to have my data available, and I've already prepared some data here that I'm going to add in. And basically what you need to do then is just identify what you want it to predict. So obviously it is important that we have a specific outcome that we're trying to identify. And in this case, we're looking to see if we've retained those staff. And we choose which characteristics out of the staff we want to include into that prediction. And that's the real crux of building an AutoML experiment, is that you feed it those characteristics out of your data, and it will then go away and kind of test all of that data against different algorithms that are built into the product. And then after just a few seconds to a few minutes, depending on how much data there is, it will come back with a response. And there we go. So it's finished evaluating all of those models, and it's come back and said that the CatBoost classification is the most accurate one, and it's given me a breakdown of permutation importance, so we can see which factors, which features within the data it thinks are the most important. I've actually got an option here to build a Qlik app off of that if I want to dig deeper into the data. But actually, in terms of actually rolling this back into my HR attrition app, I can just click deploy. That will create a set of QVDs that I can then use as lookups against my current data. It can also create an API endpoint as well that you can use interactively.
Right, thanks, Doc. That looks really simple. So I don't need to be a data scientist by the looks of it. I just need to make sure my source data is correct and is in good order and good quality, and then I can just do some machine learning on it.
That's absolutely it. Yeah, it couldn't be more simple.
That is pretty cool. So, from the automation, you said that when you hit that button on that dashboard, it sent a Teams message. Again, that seems quite technical in order to do. How technical can the automations be, and how difficult was it to create that Teams message and send that message out to multiple team leaders or managers?
You'd think it would be complex, wouldn't you? You'd imagine huge reams of code in order to achieve that. But actually, Qlik have integrated the app automation platform that allows you to integrate together all these different systems. So actually, if we look down this long list, we can see that it's designed to connect to all kinds of platforms, not just Qlik. And basically, it's a no-code platform where you pull in the building blocks and configure each one. And then create loops, for example, that can then spit out and filter data to individual people. But yeah, absolutely no coding at all.
So I don't need a dever, or you don't need to be, you don't have to do any code at all, or do something strange like Java or JavaScript or anything like that. No,
absolutely not. No, it's zero code. It's just configuration. So all the code's in the background of each block. Really simple to achieve, and lots of templates as well. Actually, so if I were to create an automation now from scratch, you can see actually that we've got these templates for all kinds of different platforms. So I've got machine learning templates, master item management, etc. So fast starts into lots of different really high value use cases.
Fabulous. Good to see.
Okay, so So as HR manager, I've now finished my part of the task here. So I've identified some employees in the BI team that are at risk of flight. So I've contacted it via Teams. I've sent a message out to that line manager. And now I'm going to pass over to Lee, who's going to play the role of Reggie, who is the line manager in BI, and he's going to receive that message in Teams and take action on that. So over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Neil. Okay, so I'm now a team leader, and I've been informed by my HR manager that I've got 3 employees with a high turnover probability, and my key driver, or the main reason for this, looks like it's days since vacation. So I'm going to take a look at that. Would it be really nice to know exactly what 3 employees? But that's fine because it's telling me at the bottom there that I can use @Qlik to start a conversation using Teams to discover that data directly at a click. So the way I start this conversation is just by doing @Qlik, and you can see here, I've already got the query in my clipboard. So I just want to know who my top 3 flight risk employees are in my team, business intelligence. When I hit enter, what that's doing is it's sending that query directly to Qlik, and it's going to come back with an answer. Now, the guys have been doing the vocabs on this. So basically, you set Qlik up to understand what we mean by business intelligence, what we mean by flight risk, because obviously the back end in Qlik is all different measures and dimensions. So I can set that to my native language, or my business language in essence. So that's great. It's actually even generated me a chart. It's shown me my 3 individuals. I can open this up and look at this in a bit more detail from an image perspective. Or what I can do is I can go directly into the app and explore this further. And that's what I'm going to do now. So you can also see underneath that, it's showing me there's some narration on the percentage differences, etc. But it's fairly obvious on here. But what I want to do is look into this and go to Qlik. So if I hit that button, what it's going to do is going to open up my browser again, go directly to Qlik, and take all of those filters that came to me. So you can see it's technology, business intelligence, and the 3 employees. So I don't have to go selecting those. And in fact, it's already brought the question in. And this is a function called Insight Advisor. So this is AI built in directly into Qlik, where you can either ask the question at any stage right the way through this in Insight Advisor button, or what you can do is you can instigate that or start that conversation using something like Teams. So you can hook that up to pretty much anything. It's all API driven, so that's good. But what I wanted to do now as that team leader is I'm now interested in these 3 individuals. I want to keep an eye on these. So that's great, but I don't want to keep going backwards and forwards and having that conversation with Qlik or Teams. So Insight Advisors generated this new content for me using generative AI, and I'm just going to add that to a sheet. So if I add that to a sheet, what it's done is created a private sheet for me. What I can now do is just go and surface that sheet and have a look at that. But I want to go another step further. So I did notice on the Teams message that not only did it highlight the 3 individuals that I was interested in, but the original message says it's all about vacation days. So do I have a problem with these guys not taking vacation? Again, I could go through my normal Qlik dashboard, but maybe that chart doesn't exist. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use Insight Advisor to help me select the fields that I'm interested in. So you can see on the left-hand side here, it shows all the fields that are selectable. And this is basically my entire schema. So I'm interested in days since last vacation. And then I'm also interested in just putting the names of the individuals on there. So, and you can see as I'm selecting the different fields, it's trying to, the Insight Advisor is trying to do its best to figure out how I want to view this data. So you can see now the average days since since last vacation for those 3 individuals is already being created as a bar chart for me. I could have those as a table if I wanted to, or overall KPI. So I'm interested in just keeping an eye on these individuals here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to my sheet as well. So it's asking me, do I want it to create to an existing sheet, which is that new private sheet that I've just created. So now I've finished with Insert Advisor, where it's generated me 2 automatic charts for me. And I've just by clicking a single button, I've added now that to a customized sheet. So let's just go to that sheet and see. I just go to my private sheet here. So this is my own private sheet. So this is only for my consumption for now. And you can see that it's automatically added those onto my chart for me. So now this is good. I can now keep an eye on these individuals and make sure that I am going to force them to have some vacation. I do realize that they're probably running a little bit hard on their projects, and that's put us at risk. But what about the rest? What about the rest of the team? So if I just take those 3 individuals off, you can see now my days since last vacation opens up to the entire team. So what I would like to do here is just keep an eye on that. And in fact, I've got an individual here that is quite large. So maybe I need to have a conversation with him. So what I can now do is I want to keep an eye and make sure that anything over maybe like 100 days or something like that, so it's a good third of the year, I want to basically let Qlik inform me via what they call an alert to say that I probably should be making a conversation, having a conversation with those individuals, because obviously that is a potential problem in my BI team, because we run pretty hard and people forget to take holidays. So the way I do set up an alert is just right click on that chart. I hit an alert, and what that's going to do is just create a new alert. It automatically gives me the name, and I can give it a title. I can bring in other dimensions if I wanted to, and it shows me all the data there. But what I want to do is I want to condition this. I only want to know when the value is greater than 100 days. So once they've gone past 100 days, I want to be alerted, and it shows me the individuals that I've been alerted to. So actually, I've now going to have a conversation with at least a couple of other individuals that have come into this. So I hit next. Very, very simple a process of going next. I can choose on the logic, and prior to that, I can add multiple conditions on there. I can do greater than, less than 2, equal to, etc., etc. So all fairly straightforward, no coding needed. And then I go next. I can choose when that's executed. I'm just when it's refreshed, that's absolutely fine. And I can even share that with others as well. So if I wanted to share that back to an individual, I could choose maybe Ben or somebody else, or maybe Barry, for example. So I'm just going to hit create. And what that will now do is when the application is refreshed with new data, the alert will fire, and I'll get an email saying that these are the individuals that are over 100 days. So hopefully from that, I can now manage my vacation days and make sure that my team is taking the holidays that they deserve and require.
Thanks, Lee. That was some really interesting features that are definitely going to make people's roles easier to achieve with that extended capability. So what we saw during that presentation was how we can use tabular reporting to schedule pixel-perfect author content and distribute it out to recipients. We also saw how we can use collaborative notes to allow us to discuss analytics with colleagues whilst remaining secure and contextual to the data. We've seen how AutoML can be used to give insight into which factors are most decisive around people leaving, and then use those insights to help us predict which of our current workforce are at risk. We've seen how automation allows us to integrate into other platforms such as Teams, meaning you can inform people where they work instead of requiring them to come to Qlik. We also saw how Qlik understands natural language and can build dashboards for us automatically. And then finally, we saw how alerting can make sure we're always in the know when situations arise in the data that require immediate attention.
From a capacity licensing perspective, and this is quite a different term, I suppose. But what we're talking about here is Qlik SaaS and how you license Qlik SaaS. So there is a new way that you can license this, moving away from the individual user by user license of whether they be professionals or analyzers, into more of a capacity based. So basically it's gigabyte storage. And then for that you get a fantastic offer. So we're demonstrating Premium on the right hand side there. You can see that there's standard as enterprise as well as different editions. But from a Premium, which is our most popular, I think most customers are going for this, is that the ability to have unlimited users. So now it is capped at 100,000, but essentially for most businesses that is unlimited users, and those are basic users, so those are akin to the analyzer users. We've already mentioned that the capacity element is based on the gigabyte of stored data, so that's your app sizes as well as your QVD sizes and any other files that you upload. You've got a 10 gigabyte app support, so most customers are well within that. Majority of customers don't see apps above 5 gig, but we do have that additional. So if you do have large apps, then capacity or Premium capacity would be absolutely great option for you guys. You've also got reporting, so we saw in the demo of how useful that reporting is, of getting those flat reports into inboxes without having to actively seek out that information in Qlik. You've also got automation included, so you've got 5,000 runs of both the reporting and the automation every month. So we saw a great demo there where the automation was used to instigate a Teams message, but that could be any logic at all and integration with any system. So this could be incoming data as well as outgoing data. You also get AutoML included, so you get 2 deployments of models, unlimited experiments, but 2 models that are deployed so you can make predictions on, in essence. And what a lot of customers like is that as soon as you switch SaaS on, you get this ability from your client manager, so you're on-premise, the ability to publish directly into SaaS from day one. So we call this a hybrid option because it is hybrid, as in you've got it on-prem and you've got it in SaaS. And via the publishing of those apps in your client managed, you can start directing your users directly to SaaS from day one. So there's no elongated long process of migration. In fact, if an app works in your Qlik Sense environment, it's going to work in SaaS, is the basic rule. You still have access to client managed. So again, there's no rush to go off and change and completely move your organization in X days or weeks. You've got an option here for up to 12 months to move from client managed completely to SaaS. I think it goes without saying that this is a secure platform, so it's got all the ISOs, all the SOCs. It is government approved, both the UK and US. So it's got all the badges. So if you want to know more about that, please give us a shout. You can host in multiple different countries, so that's UK as well as Europe, and even now Japan, I think, has been come online. One of the big advantages that customers do like, it is online, it is a SaaS product, it's obviously 24/7 uptime, you've got an SLA to support that, but you've got 24/7 online support. So this is 24/7 online support that Qlik will provide. So it is follow the sun support. So anytime that your users or your technical team have got a problem, they can reach out to the support desk and get instant support. So again, that's a big difference to potentially your client managed and your local install that you've got. What this means from a benefits perspective really is removing your infrastructure costs. So whether you're hosting in a cloud environment, so Azure, Google, what they're like, or whether you've got local tin that you're having in a local data center, you can start removing those internal costs almost from day one. Because what you can start doing, especially if you're in a Hyper-V environment or a virtualized environment, an Azure or cloud, you can start pushing so those users using this hybrid deployment mechanism directly to SaaS from day one, which means that you can reduce your load on your environment from day one also. Obviously, the longer term option here is to completely remove those infrastructure costs. Now, what a lot of the customers are telling us is actually the cost of migrating into SaaS using capacity is vastly outweighed from the removal of those infrastructure costs. You know, pretty much every customer that we're speaking to currently, if you remove those infrastructure costs, you could move to cloud and actually be, from a cost perspective, be cost negative. So it's going to basically save you money moving to SaaS, and all have the other features that we've seen today as well. You are in an AI ready platform, a trusted platform. Your data's already there, so you can start making machine learning predictions right from day one. But not only that, you've got the ability to use all of the other AI, some elements that we've seen today, such as Insight Advisor, which is generating new charts for you. You have the ability to talk directly using normal language, using Teams and the Insight Advisor. But also you've got new functionality coming online all the time. So one of those AI features and functions is answers. So we'll be doing a webinar later this month explaining that. In fact, the next slide of where you can sign up for that. But this is generative, so this is ChatGPT directly within platform. So I think that the advances that Qlik are making are constant on this one. I think the big one though is just being able to provide a standard BI to all our users with that unlimited users. And the big benefit of that is a predictive cost. You know how much your data is increasing year by year. So you don't have to worry about compute costs here. You don't have to worry about how big is your organization going to grow on user count. It will suffice across all of your users, and you don't have to worry about your increasing your compute costs if you're having it internal or you have it in Azure because you need more horsepower. It comes as part of the SaaS platform. And the big benefit, and you saw this on the flat reporting, so producing those reports and distributing those out alongside alerting as well. And in fact, something we didn't show you is subscriptions. So it's being able to the ability to subscribe to an entire sheet is the ability now to remove imprinting. So if you do have imprinting deployed, we are comfortable by saying you can have that conversation about how you remove imprinting, move users to alerting, move users to subscriptions, and then move users to use other mechanisms. And sometimes you don't have that. You still want the data in a flat format, and that's what you're seeing today in the reporting. So lots of options in there.
You certainly got me interested, Lee. That's really good information. So how do I follow up on this?
Yeah, thank you, Note. It's almost like we got this prepared. So what's next? We've got a SaaS readiness assessment. So this is basically understanding, are you as an organization ready to move to SaaS? We can talk about pricing then. Obviously, pricing is individual on a customer basis. Or if you want to look at AutoML or anything else that you've seen today, please just use that QR code there on the right hand side under Qlik SaaS. Sign up. That'll book either myself or Noel in a direct one-to-one conversation with you, and we can start that conversation. I did mention it on the previous slide of Qlik Answers is being released. In fact, it is already released. So I'm sure you've seen some of the marketing material come into your inbox. But we'll have a demo on that on the 22nd of August. So if you enjoy today's demo, you enjoy today's conversation between me and Noel, pretending to be HR people, hopefully we've done it well, Noel, hopefully. Then please sign up for that webinar. I think that will be a very exciting webinar. We've seen the technology in action. We saw it when they launched this back in the earlier in the year in the Qlik Connect, which is Qlik's global conference back in Orlando. So we're quite excited about how you can bring unstructured data, so those flat files, and create a chatbot experience on your data in a secure environment. So Qlik Answers is pretty cool. We've been playing with it, haven't we, Noel? Works amazingly well. Zero code, like you've seen with the AutoML. It's kind of where Qlik is starting to go, where you have a zero code approach to delivery. So please sign up with those, and yeah, hopefully we'll talk very soon. Great. Thank you for your patience today. Any questions? We did have a few questions come through, which I think we've answered. But if you want more information, please put in the Q&A.
So there was one
questions?
question from David.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So hopefully I can answer that. But actually, I thought it was worth just waiting until the end to share some of the information about this. So David asked, does it do feature engineering, and does it give any information on variable importance for the models? Actually, so yes, it does. So it does automated feature engineering. So as you pull the data in, basically it looks through to see if it understands the data, it categorizes it into different classifications, and then extrapolates new values to see if it can get more accurate responses from that. So it's doing that automatically. And for example, with dates, it's pulling in a single date and building new features like year, month, week number, and all these kind of things. But it really ties into what Lee was just saying there about Qlik's approach here is to get extremely technical solutions available to not very technical people, or people who understand concepts but don't necessarily want to learn new platforms each time. So in the same way as you've got your answers for Gen AI, no code, you've got your app automations, no code for platform integration. You've got an advanced AutoML capability, but again, you don't need to do that feature engineering yourself. It does it for you. But if you did want to do it, Qlik is a perfectly capable feature, creation engine as well. So that's there as well.
Perfect. Any other answers? I think we have managed to do that as well as the presentation. Any other questions from anybody? If there are anything, if there's anything else that that you come away and you think, give us a shout, then or you still want to drill into, whether it be AutoML, whether it be answers, whether it be SaaS pricing, and anything else we've covered. In fact, anything that's Qlik, then please do give us a shout. We just had one come in. Is there any pricing available for Qlik Answers? Yes, we're just waiting confirmation on that, of what that means. We've been told that it will be around about 25,000 pages, and you'll get 25,000 questions per month. And we're just waiting to get confirmation on exactly what that pricing looks like. But it will be of the order of around about 65,000 on top of your subscription. But it will depend on what type of subscription you have, what licensing you have. So do give us a shout on that one. You're anonymous. I don't know who you are. We've got one from Deb. We have health check finishing up today, so be keen to look at readiness for SaaS. Absolutely, Deb. We'll organise that one, and we'll get either me or Noel will reach out directly to you and get that up and running. It's worth noting that the readiness assessment is free of charge, doesn't cost you anything. We come in and have a look at your environment and just do a quick sense check, but more importantly, get the sense of size of how many gigabytes you'll need, how many automations you'll need, do you have any imprinting and all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll come back with a recommendation and talk to Qlik and get some pricing for you. Okay. I think we've answered. There was another question. Did you answer that other question?
I think
No?
we've answered them all now, but
Great.
I mean, we're out of time
Fantastic.
anyway, so
Yeah. So I think we are out of time, definitely. But thank you for your patience today and your attendance. Please join us on the 22nd. Sign up for that one. And yeah, have a good day. And please sign up for a follow-up if you need to. Nice one. Thank you.
thanks everyone.